Most people overcomplicate sign-in screens. But what if I told you there is a simple process that works every time? My name is Gytis and I'm a senior product designer. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly how I design a sign-in screen step by step. No fluff, just a repeatable process you can use in any UI design. Let's dive in. First, we're gonna look at overall picture and the process that we're gonna go through. So we're gonna start with just taking a brief look at how I would go about doing the research. If I wanted to design a sign-in screen, and maybe I haven't not designed it in a little while, so it's a good practice to check out what other products are doing, get some samples, and then figure out what is it that you need to take from it, and then what you need to change. So this part I'm calling the research. Then I'm gonna show you some specific examples of design for the watch industry. So let's say that we're designing a sign-in screen for a watch online retailer. And we're going to take a look at some examples and then try to understand sort of the basics of, how they are different from other products. And then we're going to take a look at a layout, grab some photos from Unsplash, and then finally we're going to design some example sign-in screens. So in the research step, essentially what I did is very simple. I would go to the products that I use quite often, that I think are doing a good job, and those will obviously not match exactly my target audience and the product size and things like that. But generally what I want to get is just to get a quick overview of what I'm about to design, what are the current trends, and then what I'm gonna need to sort of look after. And I want to make sure that I cover all the main bases of designing a sign-in screen, and then I'm going to take a look at how I could make it our own, how can I make it a bit different, and so forth. So in this example, I just took screenshots from Facebook or to the desktop and mobile screenshots from products like Asana, Google, Notion, and Apple. And, those could be anything, but these are, just sort of the most popular things that you would probably use on an everyday basis. So these products are obviously much bigger in scale, maybe compared to the product that you're designing. But what I'm trying to get to is, again, cover the basics. So what are the main structure that I need to follow? What are the main input fields, buttons, text, and so forth. So this is fairly simple stuff, but I'm just gonna quickly go through it anyway as an exercise. So for a sign-in screen, we have, in this case, a split screen, like two sections here, the left and the right. We're probably gonna mostly focus on the right side because this is the form and sort of recent logins. This is something for a bigger platform that has more users, and maybe just not really a thing for our product, maybe just not a feature that we want. So we're just gonna focus on form first. So we've got email or phone number, password, and then login. Then we've got forgot password, create new account. So this is like a way to switch between login and sign up. And then even a separate section to create a page for a celebrity brand or business, which again is kind of more specific to Facebook. So if we're looking at in the broad sort of spectrum of things, what are the core elements? I think we're looking at this box here. On the mobile, we see quite a bit of a difference here in terms of visuals and layout. We see different type of input fields, different button stylings, and so on. It may be that there were different teams working on it, because even the background is different. So pretty much everything visually is different here. So maybe different teams work on these pages. That's why it's different, but the main information is still there. Then we'll go to a product called Asana for product management, great tool. And okay, we've got logo, obviously, welcome to Asana, get started. We've got social sign-in options to continue with Google, continue Facebook sometimes, and other tools, LinkedIn, for example. But they're just focusing on Google, email address, and then button to continue. So straight away, we see a difference here. We see additional social sign-up button, which Facebook doesn't have, probably for business reasons. And instead of Asana asks only for email address and then you go to continue, not login, but continue, versus Facebook asks both things and then just logs you in straight away. So that's already a difference. Looking at Google, they've got email or phone as Facebook had. Asana is only using email. And then obviously forgot email, which is not forgot your password, but forgot your email in the step. And then not your computer. Again, this may be some more specific to Google. And you've got option to continue or next. Again, two different words, just trying to identify the differences. And then a create account button, which stands for like sign up, essentially. Mobile is a bit more consistent, I guess, compared to Facebook. Then we're going to take a Notion, and this is, I think, the same. This is from the desktop, and it just goes from one screen to another. So for adding an account, you have now 3 options: continue with Google, continue with Apple, and single sign-on. So more social sign-up or sign-in options. And then you also have just one email field to begin with. Click continue, and then the platform sends out an email to your email address, and you would enter your verification code. Then you would enter your password, and then you would go about it in that way. And then for the sign in for faster checkouts, Apple, sign into Apple Store, email or phone number, click continue, and then again you've got remember me option for like if it's a more platform that is used more often. Forgot password, don't have account, create your own. Okay, so a majority of these, like 4 out of 5, only have one input field to begin with, and then they have continue button to get a verification code and then put in their password. So that's what we've got for the more broader spectrum applications. Now let's look into more specific. In this case, decided to design a sign-in screen for a watch retailer. So just Googled some of the main, top searches in Google and took some screenshots of them, and just to see how they would, present themselves, just sort of visually and again from the structure point of view. So we've got Chrono25, which is I think one of the bigger platforms that is selling watches or facilitating that. So we've got email address and password. We've got login, stay logged in, forgot your password, social icons. Now social sign-in options, now those are below. So they're promoting, I guess, more account related, sort of more direct approach instead of focusing on the social sign-in options. So that is different, but generally very simple. Single box layout here, no fancy images, no nothing like that. We've got Teddy. So Teddy Baltazar is like a YouTube influencer, and he has a shop. So there, obviously, I've just taken a screenshot of the actual form here. There's usually like a top navigation and some footer pages as well, because these are just like pretty much websites or web shops. So you would have those elements there as well, but I'm just focusing now on the essence of the login form. So that's we don't see those extra components, but they are there nonetheless. So with the Teddy, you have again just the email and continue button. Then there's some other platform that they didn't take logo off, and that offers email and password. And then yet another where you actually have 2 in one window for returning customers and new customers, so sign in and sign up at the same page, which is the first example of that out of what I've seen. And then another one with email address and password. So these have a mix. Now I think it's more common, I think, to have both email address and password in a single window rather than have a continue button. So again, not exactly sure what would be the factor why Facebook is doing one way versus the others. This would probably come down to a specific user base and the testing that they've done, and you can rest assured that bigger platforms will be able to do a lot of A/B testing and figure out what's the best way to go about it. At least that's what I would hope for. So in any case, we know we need email, we need password, we need login button, we need forgot password, we need a sign up, and then some simple copy to go with it, and logo. I think that's pretty much what we're looking for. So let's go and just analyze things from the basics. If we wanted to design from scratch, then I would just draw some basic forms to have my options laid out for me. So we're gonna have 2-column option where we have the form on the right, and we've got some picture, maybe some key benefits, values, if it's like a sign up thing or it's like a startup where you want to keep on pushing on sort of benefits and making sure that people understand why they should sign up, should sign in, things like that. And you can obviously have like a simple option, as most of the examples we've seen, they just have a single form in the center, and that's it, because they want to keep that I guess step as simple and clean as possible. So these are the main layouts that we can choose from, and I'll show you how to design both and how those would look like. For full transparency, these are the photos that I picked for the 2-column scenario, and you can pick anything. I just use Unsplash that you can access through your options or tools in the Figma. I have this amongst my recent things, but you can go to like manage plugins and then find Unsplash to get some good quality photos, and use that for free, with obviously acknowledging who are the authors. So I went along and I've sort of already went into designing things from scratch. So everything is being designed here in Figma. I haven't like spent the time to find like Google icon or things like that, but generally I kind of spend time to go about and design things. So what we have here is we have a split screen. We've got some nice looking photo on the left side. I've created this like very quick logo. I'm actually not sure if there's like a company with the name of it, but yeah, I just typed it in and then kind of made the spacing, letter spacing, -6% to make it tighter, and that kind of gives you like a more logo-ish look. And then I just prepared a couple of versions with the goal of just showing how images actually how powerful image can be in terms of like the style of presenting the brand and style of the product. More kind of lifestyle, outdoorsy, laid back oriented, more elegance, luxury type thing. And this is more like again kind of Life magazine type of setup here, and with some wording, logo in a different place, but always having the same form here. And then another example where we just have like just the simple form here. And again, I haven't spent time to actually design like a nav above and some footer below, but those would also come into play depending on how things are looking on the exact product. So that's the overall my process, going from getting the assignment of designing a screen, looking at what are the big names, big players are doing with that screen, what are the core elements that I need to include, then looking at specific examples of products within that niche and market, and then seeing what kind of visuals and style they are using, and then kind of mapping out basic layout options that I have. And these can be obviously detailed a bit more. And then from there, you can start picking some images and then just start putting things together. For things like input fields and buttons and things like that, I would highly suggest to just pick a library from Figma, some examples, go to like get yourself like a kit or whatever, basic size sort of design components, and just use those. I've designed it from scratch, but these don't have like any hover states or filled forms and things like that. This is just a representation of the core elements, but each component should have its different states if you wanted to pass it along to developers. So taking a design system, whether maybe just good old Google design system or others, and you can just use that, put it in, and just make it your own that way. It depends on, again, what platform you're designing for and how the overall styles and components look like on your product. And that would be it for this video. So thanks again for watching. If you have not yet, please consider subscribing, leave a thumbs up, and if you have any more questions or Would you like me to do more demos about specific processes, designs, tasks, or you just want to give me a challenge of designing something and showing you how I would go about it? Then just leave a comment down below.